My bad. I was finishing eating real fast.
What's up?
I was finishing eating real fast.
Nah, that's alright.
Uh,
How's it going?
it's going alright. Just worked all day basically. Uh,
Any
work
interesting stories
work
to
is
tell
so
from
annoying.
today, or just a regular day?
Wait, what do you say?
Any stories to tell, or just a regular day?
Just a regular day, I guess. Huh?
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Life is pretty boring.
Mm, wouldn't say
What
that.
about you?
It was just an okay day for me. Didn't really have to do too much at work, since it was kind of slower based. So not too much productivity, but at least it was a little more productive than the other day because our systems were down, so I wasn't able to actually do much. Um, but still, just a regular day for the most part. Uh, let's see here. Well, thanks for trying out a session here. Let me go ahead and sync the screen so you can see what I'm seeing here. So share screens. Tire. Okay, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this. And I'm just going to send you those videos. Let's see, let's swap over. I'm just going to send you those videos right now from your matches with Price or Dame. So whichever one that you feel more like you want to look at. But I guess before we go into either one of them, just want to talk over the topics that you have brought up. So approaching rushdown characters, basically. Is there kind of more to it, or kind of give like some clarification on like with approaching rushdown?
Well, I think well, I don't even remember what it was I said exactly. I think I don't know a good way to put it. I just meant I feel like playing against like Price in particular. Like I feel like I don't know how to like I I don't know how to describe it. Like obviously he's not playing a zoner, but I don't know how to like approach him. 'Cause I really feel like he doesn't play very aggressive at all, or at least in bracket he doesn't. He was running across the stage just kind of lasering. But then like I would try to like approach, I would just get kind of like blown up because like Fox. I don't know. uh, I guess that's what I meant by that.
Okay, so I guess Fox in particular, because of he runs across stage and lasers. You run to stop lasers, and he blows you up for it.
Uh, this sounds so simplified that way, but I guess that is basically the idea. I don't know.
Okay, so just kind of looking at, so I guess we could take a look at prices for that. Basically, like dealing with someone who I guess is more faster paced, like Fox, and who's able to actually cover things a lot easier. Um, and then you also said for like aggressively gaining info. Um, so you just want to basically find a way to. Well, could you, I guess, clarify a little bit? So like you want to be more aggressive against the opponent while also finding out things about them.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to like conceptualize like playing aggressive and like gaining info. 'Cause I feel like whenever I play aggressive, I'm just kind of like mashing.
Okay. Hmm. Well, let's say this. Let's take a look at prices set then, just to start out, and then from there, we will we'll just move on from there from it, and then if we want to look at Dame's match, then we can. So Not there. Let's pull this up. Close that out. Did it
Are we
quit
watching the
games?
game set or the price one?
I thought that was... Oh, I must have mixed them up.
I think you had pressed the. I think you had pressed the bottom link on it instead of pressing
Oh, did I?
the whatever it's called. And
Okay, yeah, I did actually. So let's close that one. Alright, and I'll just play it for a little bit, just see if it's kind of choppy for you. Then if so, just exit out and then come back in real quick. So is it kind of choppy for you right now, or?
not really, just press it. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'll restart it. So just watch the first game, just see how things kind of go with you know, him being cross stage and shooting lasers and stuff. Okay.
Actually, it is a little choppy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pause real quick. And maybe see if I can up the quality. I'll have to see if that'll help out. Oh, it wasn't too big of a difference. Only 360 or 720p, so we might have to sell for 360. Let's see. Just let me know when you're back in.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. I didn't. I'm so not used to using calls only. But yeah, I'm back in it now.
Okay. So let me scroll back a little bit. I mean, for most of the match so far, I've been seeing that he's been kind of being a lot more aggressive towards you. Was there a certain particular part of the set that you felt like he was doing that? Because I haven't seen him laser like once. Maybe at the beginning of the match, but...
Yeah, it's only because it's leaking.
Yeah, put off stage pressure because it's spacey. Oh, he was greedy for that kill right there. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much of the lasering right now, so it must be a later match I might be thinking of.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's all right. We can try and focus on like the other part, like the aggression first, and then as we watch the set more, we'll come back to that laser part. So, man, neither of you are losing these stocks here.
I did not mean to do that. I meant to run up and do the F tilt.
Yeah, that's fine. You even it up pretty quickly. So, Okay, so I guess he's starting to shoot the lasers a little bit more, so maybe we might see that come into play here. Um, but a question I have for you is, in terms of like playing more aggressive, do you have like a like kind of like idea of what it is that you want to do if you're kind of playing more aggressively?
What do you mean?
Like the way that I'll pause it real quick because like the way that I usually think of like whether you just play more aggressively or play more defensively, um, is that you always have like kind of some revolving something that you're wanting to do whenever you kind of aggress. I guess I'll stop it here and then swap over to the game real quick because something that I think that I normally see. I'll play a little bit more, but something that I think I see normally whenever you want to actually aggress on someone is that you'll usually want to try and go in and actually hit them with one of your falling aerials. So usually like say neutral air or forward air. Which I think those are good moves as like kind of an aggressive thing. I think in terms of like your aggression is probably just not realizing that that should be it. Oh. I think like you're just not maybe realizing that like you kind of already have like the aggressive tool, so maybe it's just kind of figuring out how to actually use it. Cause see, like right here, for example, most of the time, like whenever you do actually run up and approach him, it either is a shield or it's a run up trying to do like an aerial of some kind. Like he just tried to go for a forward air right there. And so I guess my question is, why would you try to go for a forward air in that situation?
Do you play it back?
Yeah. Let's see. So like I'm pretty sure it's after this situation. Nope, it was before Arsene. So you pushed him with F tilt. You tried to go for a fair there. So like in this situation, you're about to get ready to go for. Oh, that's really bad. I don't even know if changing the quality will be fine because it might get choppy. I'll try it. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I don't know why I went for that fair. That's
Oh, okay. Maybe it's
I don't
not.
know. I don't know what the point of that was. That was I feel like that was just kind of like fine. Especially,
Mm,
I don't know like what I would have gotten from that. Even if I got first hit, I mean, I could have got him on the platform, I guess, but I wouldn't have been able to get a grab or anything. And
that's
an
all.
up smash wouldn't have killed. Yeah.
It's all right. Um, what do you normally get out of going for forward airs usually?
You know, I could get the drag down, or I could just back air and get him off stage. Really, I could like off of getting the first hit of forward air, I get like basically anything I want. Like I don't know, or not anything, but like
Mm-hmm.
at kill percent, I can get a kill. At a lower percent, so I can like just back air,
Yeah.
or I could get a grab, which is really good objective.
Okay. So you get quite a bit off of just using that move, and when you try to be aggressive. Um. So going back to what we were talking about before about having like just a way to find out information while being aggressive. This is a topic that I talked with my last session with Jamo, and also that I've gone through like with my students before. But really, the best way in order to actually just gather information, and we've talked about this before probably, like when you try to play more defensive, is just focus on either just one specific like tool or one specific sequence. So what I'm going to do here, swap up, change fighters here. Where is...
What are you looking for?
There he is. So we've got him. And let's just go ahead and get Fox here. So the way that I usually teach, like, having like aggressive, like either like a game plan in a sense, is that you want to combine a certain tool or sequence by using something as you're moving. So let's say, for example, how do you think, what's the biggest way to tell someone that you're going to be aggressive? If you had the choice between moving backwards, staying in place, or moving forward from this distance, what would be the biggest way you can tell someone that you're going to be aggressive towards them?
Definitely jumping forward.
What's that?
I said jumping forward.
Okay.
Or moving forward.
Yeah. Because in order to like get that forward there that you're wanting to get, you want to get closer in order to actually get the first hit. So as simple as it is for making a aggressive game plan, something you can think of is this following phrase: I am going to body my opponent by moving forward and doing blah. Let's see what happens. So for you, for example, it's either you're going to move forward and jump in there, based on percents, move forward, jump in fair one, or you'll go in and shield as like a mix-up. But it's choosing just one of those things that you want to actually use that gives you lots of good things when you use it, and then fix counterplay around it. Does that kind of make sense with that for like an aggressive game plan?
You're talking about just using... You're talking about that's what you think I already use right now, or...
Yeah, I think that...
What I should do?
No, I think that's what you already use, which is perfect. I think it's probably just... Maybe it's just not either realizing it that is kind of like your game plan for being aggressive, or maybe it's also you're not realizing it because maybe you think, oh, it's just too simplistic. But that's what we want. We want it to be simple. Because, for example, you get quite a bit off of just like, jump in, do for like nair or fair. So then the answer is, as you're running in, what is the fox player doing to prevent you from running in and doing neutral air or doing forward air? So let's...
Seems like just...
Mm-hmm.
Seems like just running, or just like... I feel like they're always like just dashing around and they're hard to like keep track of. At least that's what it felt like. I would like go and like nair in, but he would already be like dashing in, so I would just miss the nair. It would just kind of like reset on like opposite stuff. At least that's what it felt like.
Okay. So it seems like, so if we go into what we were talking about before, you want to run in, like move forward, and you want to do neutral air. But what happened is anytime that you ran forward during your run, so it's usually during your run before you even got the aerial out, you would get dash attacked or grab or something.
Yeah, or I would like go in with an air and he would already be like dashing in or something.
Oh, he would already be dashing in and get you. Okay. So then, a thing that you could probably think of there is, we talked about your game plan with just that simplicity of like running in and doing neutral air or forward air. So we found out the second part to it now is the counter strategy that you would do. So you ran in, you tried to do neutral air or forward air, and they shielded. Or not they shielded, they actually dash attacked you before you could do the aerial. So now, even though you got punished for doing your regular game plan, we now realize that, from playing your regular game plan, that he dash attacks you whenever you move forward to try and do your attack. So we just have to think of ways to punish him dash attacking us. So what are some things that you can think of in order to actually punish someone dash attacking you? If you're still, like, say you run forward, but instead of doing the neutral air, you run forward and you do something else.
You could just empty hop a shield, or you could empty hop a spot dodge, or you could just like do a different type of jump to like mix up the timing.
That's true. But there is something you already do that I think that's even stronger than that.
Like, I don't know.
Whenever, well, we'll go back to this. If we know for a fact
like
that they're
walling out with Nair, is that what you mean?
It's a grounded option that I'm thinking of. If we know someone's going to attack us, what's something we can easily do to avoid the attack if when we try to stay on the ground?
Rolling?
No. Well, that works, but you run in shield. Because he's going to do a laggy dash attack on your shield when you run up and do this. And you're going to force it, so that way you can be able to get your other way of getting good combos, which is off of your grab. So let's, for example, go back to the gameplay that we had earlier. So let's swap over, because this happened during the match too. We swap here, scroll back a little bit, and let's just watch like anytime that you approach Price here. So there was a run-in dash attack. Okay, so he tried to run in, jump over, but he didn't there. Okay, so yeah, here, like you said, the roll does work because you were expecting him to maybe come in and do that, but there's instances also where, like, let's say for example, like either you'll try the shield to actually run in for it, but it'll come up here in a little bit. But let's just take this scenario right now. So you're about to run in and jump over and do an attack right now. So take notice of what it is that Price does whenever you jump in and try to do your neutral air. He decides to shield it, right? Are you there, Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. Sorry, my mic cut out, but I see what you mean. That's why I didn't want to like touch his shield. Or I feel like the situation it comes to like when I try to like tomahawk or something, he always would like spot dodge. If I throw out an attack, then I don't know. I don't know how to deal with spot dodging, I guess, very well.
Okay, so an issue with like spot dodging within it. So that just comes down to just thinking of a solution on trying to actually punish spot dodges. Like that we can come up with here. Well, I just wanted to show you from focusing just on doing neutral air, like jump in and try and do an aerial as a start for like an aggressive game plan, is that from that, whether you hit it or you don't hit it, you find out information from like you're saying you find out information about your opponent there. So for example, like we said in this situation, you tried to jump in neutral air. He didn't run in. He just decided to try to stay in place and shield. That could be a situation right there where, okay, I tried to run in there and he shields. I didn't get punished, but I think if I just tomahawk here, maybe I can grab him. Because what happens because you tried to grab him there after the nair, and he grabs too. So maybe in the next situation, whenever you try to set up for a jump again, like right here, he did another shield.
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean. Or even though, I mean, I had just spaced the nair incorrectly the first time. But if I had used it intentionally like that, I could have used it like to gain the information that, oh, he's probably gonna shield, or when he sees I'm going in a aerial, he's probably gonna shield. And then I could have used that to make it like make a guess or whatever that he was gonna shield and actually try to punish that. Or if I wasn't like 100% sure, then I could like do something safer, like instead of naring on his shield, I could just like use gun or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you mean though, using the nair to gain like information about what people are gonna react to when I do something aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
feel like
yeah, go ahead.
I don't really think of moves like from this perspective. It makes me think of nair in like a way to like gain information other than just like obviously it's a good move to get like damage or whatever. But I always think of like gun as in like the way to gain information. Like if I like just like start spamming gun, like what are they gonna do? I never think of like if I just like nair or make it seem like I'm going out of nair or whatever, or even just like do it because at low percent, like most characters, it's not gonna matter that much. Like how they're gonna react
Mm-hmm.
or how they tend to react because no, it's not like they're computers or anything. Like
You know,
getting like the habits of what people want to
yeah,
do.
a secret that could help you get into that mindset of thinking about moves that way. I'll swap back over again real quick, and then we'll try and maybe go to the next topic here. Um, Easily the best way to actually think of moves like that to try to figure out what is probably say a broken is like think of like moves to gather information. What is think of moves that are broken in different ways or get you a lot out of them when you use them. So like for example, gun. Like what does gun do in this situation when you're just spamming it like this?
It forces them to approach
Why is that?
because they're either gonna take damage or well, they could shield. They can't shield forever, so they could either like jump or they could like run in shield
Mm-hmm.
or depending. They just have to like do something, or I'm just gonna be like standing there. I don't know.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like free. It's like free chip damage for me, and then they're just like just have to take it. I don't know.
Yeah, like gun is broken because of this, because of the fact that not only does chip damage from this far, but if they come in from the ground and you're just shooting gun, it flinches. So at higher percents, that especially with Arsene, that makes it more difficult for them to come into the ground. Besides, unless they like shield it. So the other things that they can do is try to like maybe time a roll through. Maybe they'll have to approach some way. So they'll have to approach you. So they'll have to run in and do an aerial or something, or call out that maybe they're going to parry one of the hits of gun or something, or do something to deal with you just spamming this across stage while they get chip damage. Same thing with you jump in and you do Nair, because what's great about Nair is, like we said before, you get combos off of it. Like you get grab out of it, you get dash attack, you get same thing with like forward air. When you have the time to set these things up, these allow you to gain a good combo and put someone in bad situations off of just these moves. So if you focus your game plan, like if you just choose any character that you play, this could be for any fighting game. If you look at what are moves that are kind of broken about this character, like is it a projectile that I could just spam and just like get chipped from it? Is it a move that has lots of range? Like, Backer, for instance, is a good move on Joker because it's fast, disjointed, safe on shield, so you can spam it, kind of things. Does it lead to many good situations? Because, again, like, back air leads to good situations, or like it's good for killing. Neutral air, fast fall neutral air, and Nair 1 are good because of combo potential. Your grab's also a good thing, too, so finding ways to lead into your grab. So basically building a game plan around the things that people complain about your character the most is the best way in order to actually just make your play simple. Uh, so I'm hoping that might help you get an idea for that, for like either just like any character that you have, whether it's Joker, Sephiroth, or anyone else that you play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Whenever I guess the way I think of like playing different characters, like as soon as like the broken stuff doesn't work, then I was like, oh, I just gotta throw out this random stuff. So then I don't use like. I feel like the better way to do it is like to gain the information of like how to actually use them in the match. Like, for example, instead of like if Nair isn't working, then I could start or like just approaching with Nair all the time isn't gonna work. But the idea is like to gain the information of like when to use it. But it's still broken either way. But instead of that, well, this isn't a good example of Joker, but instead of that, I'll just be like, oh, if Nair isn't working, I'm gonna try Dare and just do it like the same exact way.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of your
But
solution of going about it.
that's not really, yeah, that's not really a perfect example of Joker because like Dare is like pretty similar, I guess.
But yeah, I see the
Uh,
example you're going with there. So so I think you're basically right there, like with using your broken move. I think all it is just thinking more about what the opponent can do around the broken move. Because like you said, you run in, you try to do your aerial, Fox dash attacks you beforehand. So you need to find out what are things you can do because he stuff you from doing your aerial. What are things you can do when he runs in and dash attack you? And you don't even have to play the game to do these. You can just think about them. So like he run in dash attacks. Okay, well maybe what if I run in dash back, do F tilt, or run in jump back. Yeah, like run in jump back and do my aerial because he's going to dash attack straight into my nair, or jump back fair. So maybe you won't get the exact way that you want to get your move out by like just running forward and doing it, but you can abuse how they're trying to get around you doing it originally to maybe still fit it into how you punish. Um, okay, so I think that's basically what I have about it for playing aggressively. It's just in short, for most game plans, just in general, it's basically revolves around three ways of actually doing game plans, but usually they're executed in two ways. Whether it's moving forward, which is aggressive game plans, or moving back, or slash also staying in place in a certain space. Those I usually consider defensive game plans. So doing those and spamming a strong move that someone has to get around. So your aggressive one we're going with right now is just run up, do nair, run up, do forward air, and find get data from it. So any more questions about that one, or
no, that's pretty straightforward.
okay? All right. So I think we finished this first game. So let me swap over here. So I think we're just going to go ahead into the second game here, which is that Palu?
Yeah. Okay, my explanation for going Palu is that I felt like oh I know friendlies don't mean everything, but when we played friendlies, like my Palu like never lost, and Palu's just like a simpler character. I didn't feel like I was playing like the best, so I figured like why not try it out? Cause I had like barely won the last game. At least it felt like I had barely won the last game, so I was like, it's game two. I don't. If I had lost, I didn't want to like try it for game three, so I figured I might as well just try it here.
Okay, I got you.
Then, at worst, I can just swap back to Joker.
That's fair. Well, that gives us opportunity to talk about like a aggressive game plan with or like just a game plan in general with Palu. What's a broken thing about Palu that you can just spam?
Nair. Or Nair, back air.
Yeah, those.
Even forward air.
Yeah, but in particular back air, because what's great about that? Like, what special properties does it have?
Uh, I mean, it has like no lag. Like I don't know.
Does Marcus know about back air?
I don't know. Do I know about back air? Like.
So do you know what's the special properties about Palutena's shields? Like her.
No.
So when she does dash attack and when she does back air, those moves have, I don't know if you say trample, but well, let's look it up real quick. But basically, you cannot trade with these moves. I am pretty sure it is either trample or it's just invulnerability on her shield attacks. So anytime Palu does anything involving her shield, which is only dash attack and back air. So let's pull this up real quick. So let's look at back air. So yeah, so her, when she does that move, it has invincibility.
I did not know that. That's actually that's actually so crazy.
So that's what. Yes. So her doing back air, and we can pause it here real quick too, because it says it's for like 3 frames or something like that. So yeah. So see the green that's on her besides her hair, like that lighter green. So that is invincibility on her. So the top half of her body, which is the head and her arm, some of her torso, or I guess the upper part of her body, that's invincibility. So, and it says it's for 3 frames or 4 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see how the move is still active and it's still green, right? On her arm. That means you cannot, there is no way that you can actually hit Palu because of the fact that this whole red area is her hitbox. Her arm, which is inside of it, which you think, oh, I could just hit her arm, you cannot because that is invincible. It will interact, but she will not take damage.
I don't know how I did not know that.
That is why it is very difficult to deal with Palu back air, and why it's sometimes dangerous to try to deal with Palu dash attack. Cause same thing here. Like it's a committal thing, her dash attack, but at the same time, if she calls out you're doing something aggressive, she can dash attack you. And see, literally, her whole body, upper part of her body, is covered by a hitbox, and it's invincible, so you can't do anything about it. So you have to either shield it or avoid it, or try to find a way to hit behind her. But yeah, for this whole entire duration, even after the boot, oh, that's weak hit. How long is it invincible? That's a long time that it's invincible. I didn't even know that. Invincible for... So the whole body is from 5 to 6, but then her arm is invincible for like 10 frames. Continuing on. So now, if we ask that same question again, what move do you think you should be spamming that is very broken?
Back air.
The back air, yes, exactly. And that would be your defensive option that you would actually use when you do that. So maybe whenever you do start playing more Palu, instead of using Nair most of the time, you would use back air, and then Nair when you slowed them down enough.
Yeah, I think here I was going for a lot of forward air because I feel like forward air combos in this stuff. Well, I not feel like it does combo in, but
I feel that.
It's pretty low committal.
Let's see. So that's all right. We're kind of looking around for. Still, this game too. I'm still not seeing too much of laser, so maybe I'll watch a little bit more. But maybe it was just the third game you were thinking of, or do you remember for sure?
I don't remember.
Or maybe you just wished it into existence.
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like I hate when foxes taunt. Like the only character that feels cool doing that. But I don't know. I just feel like whenever I play like against Price in specific, which is like the only fox I really play against, it just feels like I'm the one like kind of like forcing this stuff, and he's kind of like reacting to what I'm doing the whole time. Like, because if I went and started camping, he literally would just like, just be going across the stage and lasering. Like, I don't know.
Okay. So I guess if we have to ask about that, because that brings up my next question then, about play against a rushdown character, what was going to be the worst thing that happens is against Fox. Normally, that
I feel like the reason it was even close to catching, like, I could have just started camping. I feel like, and I could have like held the lead up so much better. Instead, like, I kept jumping in again and again. That's when he got the up smash and like the momentum started rolling because it's Fox.
is it because
Really, I feel like here, like, yeah, I feel like the reason, like, watching back, the reason I lost this game is because I kept just like jumping in the whole time. Like, I don't think I tried to like. There was like once I used like neutral B or whatever, or not neutral. Yeah, neutral B, like the auto reticle or whatever. Like here, like I'm still thinking of like playing aggressive. Like I guess I did the explosive flame there, but for the most part, like even then I jumped in place. I wasn't trying to like go away. I was still trying to like go in the whole time. Instead of like, I mean, Palu's good aggressively, but I didn't really like even give him like any reason to think I wasn't gonna like just kind of like be there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, let's take a look at the rest of this game here before I help air things. Oh, here comes the lasers now. There we go. So we didn't wish them into existence. They were there.
I feel like this game might evolve into like the same thing. But I remember I was up like a lot, and then or going the last time I was up a lot, and then I'm almost caught up.
Okay. Yeah, scroll. Just
Even
scrolling
though
back
I'm
real
down
quick.
a lot right now. But...
Just scrolling back real quick. That game plan we talked about being aggressive. Jump in there. He barely
You
missed
see the
his
dash
there.
attack?
He barely missed
Oh,
his
is that
there. They
near?
went
Never
for,
mind.
but now you know. You still get to confirm off of this, but now you know. In those, maybe it's the corner, maybe it's something that changed in him. He's going to try and jump over you and punish your nairs with his own nair. So maybe he might start being more aggressive with like his options because he saw in order to get you. See, right there.
Oh, it's playing. It's like really laggy right now.
Oh, okay. It might need to have you swap out, like come back in, come and view it. But yeah, just like in the last 20 seconds there was two interactions where like you went in for a dare, and now he's going for full hop or short hop dares. Let's see.
I went out and back in. Maybe
Okay.
It'll be better.
Okay, so yeah, I was just going to repeat what I said before, but yeah, there was two interactions here where he jumped in and he tried to do his there after that interaction earlier, and then it happens here again after like this like grab, he jumps over and does his there again, and that was information that I picked up on just because I saw you try to jump over and do neutral air. Let's see here.
I don't even remember, I guess.
Yep, now he's getting a little more.
I know, like, one of, like, going into this stock right here, I know the one thing I had to look out for was up smash. That's literally what I was playing around, and then I get up aired anyway. But as he was spawning in, that's the number one thing I was thinking of. Like, no matter what, I wasn't gonna die the up smash.
Mm-hmm. You're going to try and avoid that as much as you could.
Yeah, and then he up aired, which I feel like it didn't feel like he had up aired like at all before, so I like didn't even cross my mind. I guess I don't know. Or it wasn't like a threat in my mind at the second.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like I was just mashing with like the F tilts or whatever.
Okay, good trait there. I'm just scrolling back, just seeing this interaction with lasers here. Okay.
There, I think I expected him to go in a nair, and it looked like it's a little choppy, but it looked like that is what he did. He went in a nair. So I figured I was gonna back here, and at worst I was gonna trade with it, which
Hmm.
I did.
Good here. The interactions with lasers I don't see too often. Like I see it's more of him either moving around or moving towards you. Um, so I guess my question then is that is playing as rushdown characters, is it particularly just Fox as a rushdown character? You feel like you have to rush because of gun against him?
Mm,
Because
I don't know. I just feel like I don't think I have to, like, the rush necessarily. I just like want to know how to approach when the situation comes around, or
okay,
when I should. Because I don't think I have to approach Fox. The laser doesn't do that much, and I can just like jump on a platform or jump around it. It's more so like knowing how to approach when it's like time to, or
dealing
like
with
as a
that
mix up.
situation.
Like I know it's not like linear where like I need to play aggressive against Fox. So honestly, it's better. Yeah, in my opinion, it's definitely better to be more passive against Fox. He's like his frame data is like so good. I mean, Joker's is really good too, but Fox's combo game is different. I don't know.
Ooh. No, you're definitely on the right path about letting him kind of do more aggressive things towards you because of his frame data and maybe just pushing him out. Because I'm thinking, we'll talk about this, then we can just go into some gameplay. But I'm thinking that biggest thing for you with those interactions with gun, so how you normally deal with it is actually we'll go ahead and just go into go online. So I'll set up an arena. But how you normally deal with that situation of like say gun with Fox in particular, since it's not so much like a rushdown character, like playing rushdown against it, but just dealing with Fox with laser, is do you remember what I talked about the I'll bring up the stage here and create arena. Let's see here. Do that. Okay. So just let me know when you're ready for the code.
Alright. If you just show it real fast.
Oh, wrong spot. No, let's go Fox.
Oh, what was the password again? Sorry, I guess I.
It's what? Let's see, 135791. And then can I change rules from here? Yeah. Discussion. Oh, well. Did it change it to stock at least? Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so go ahead and go Joker, and then just choose random so I can choose the stage.
Alright.
What
Oh,
the
is that
heck?
how it works?
Huh?
Does it always work like that? If the other person chooses random and one person picks the stage, it picks the stage?
Yes.
I did not know that. That actually makes a lot of sense now. I
So you know that.
was wondering.
So that also means now that you can stop choosing. Oh crap! Did I not allow? I don't think I allowed. Let me reset. Let me remake the arena real quick because I guess it did not allow custom stages. But
Uh,
now that you know that, you can now stop hovering over Smashville because I hate that stage.
oh, I did not. I did not pick Smashville. Sometimes, first of all, whenever I make an arena, it always is straight up random, or it isn't. Like, there's no choice. It's just like random, straight up.
Okay.
Even though I swear when it's random, it still picks the same stage like 4 times in a row. I don't know how the random works. Like, I don't know if it just picks like whatever it thinks is gonna load the fastest or whatever.
Maybe. But yeah,
But
the
sometimes I play against people, I swear to God, it's like the same stage like every single time. Even though and then I'll be like, "Is random on?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." I swear they're capping.
No, that yeah, I agree. The same time. Well, yeah, the arena's up. Same password 135791.
That's actually crazy. I did not know that. That actually changes my perspective on a lot of stuff. Okay, sorry,
Let's
I was
see.
so distracted by that elaboration, or by that. Alright, it's 135
791.
2,
And then when you come in,
or
go ahead and choose
five
random and just
seven.
go Joker.
Oop. Can you give me the password one more time?
Yep. 135791.
Okay. I already have it.
Okay. So, what we are going to do is go to that custom stage that I had built. And we're going to talk about. It's that topic that me and Simon keep telling you about. Because it's a very important thing that you need to actually learn about.
Not to play like a bitch? I don't know. Like,
That's Simon's thing.
that's
My thing is to always play like one. Because it makes many people pissed off. So, when we spawned in, where were we?
You said where were we?
Yes.
Oh, are you talking about like spacing wise?
Yes. We were basically like in the start of the green space. So stand right there. What is this space?
This is like are you mean neutral? Is this what you would call it?
It
Or do you mean something else? Like,
it's close.
oh, you mean like the burst range of like a character?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm going that's exactly what it is. So this is what we're going to just briefly rerun through these. But you know, do you know how many ranges there are kind of in Smash?
I don't know what they're called per se.
Okay. Well, if you had to give a number, what would you say like if there was like a number of ranges? Like just based on the screen here.
I'd say there's like three, or I'd say
No, that's right. It's 3.
three. There's like mid range where like projectiles are in play, or not projectile, or there's projectiles possibly in play. And you can kind of like feel each other out, and then there's close range where you have to make a decision, or like the decisions matter like more. Cause like if I could, whoops, I didn't mean to.
No, you're
I
fine.
could like nair here and it's safe, but if we're like right next to each other, if I nair, like I'm either gonna get punished or I'm gonna hit it. Like it's like like a forced option, or it is like you're not feeling each other out anymore. Like you're in each other's face. Like there's something's gonna happen.
Right.
And over here, like something could happen, but like I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
You gave as well as you gave kind of good ideas about it. Basically, like you said, they each serve different purposes. Like this blue space is close range because like basically at this range, jabs and things like that will hit. Like obviously, like jabs, grabs, you can connect them because you have to be up close to do this.
Yeah, or even like, well, a lot of the times stuff that catches me is like when I'm in close range, I'll like almost a lot of the time I'll try to jump, and there's like just jumping out of shield. I don't know how many frames that is, but there's a lot of stuff that can like blow that up, especially if the other person's not even shielding. I'll like try to jump near or whatever, and the other person's like already like onto it. Like I don't know how many frames that is altogether. I feel like that's something I get blown up for a lot. Like I'll like run up shield, which isn't like a terrible thing, but instinctively I'll just like nair. And I noticed that because like with a lot of other characters, I'll try to do that too. Like Joker's nair isn't like great out of shield, but it's not like terrible. But with other characters, it's like really terrible. Then I'll get like blown up for it, or I'll
Right,
just
right.
die.
So yeah, going back to the ranges here, like close range, this usually is dominated by quick attacks or like characters with good grabs, because obviously these characters want to get into space in order to actually get these things to happen. This green space is mid-range because this can differ between characters, but this is usually that range where you have to watch out for like just their quick options that you can't really react to. So like things like, yeah, like that dash for example, or things like, you know, me trying to run and do a dash attack. My dash attack doesn't go that far, so for me, in order to hit it instantly, I either have to have both of us right here to maybe have it connect, or I have to dash up a little bit, which that's easy for Fox in this range because he could easily do something like that with his speed. Same thing with jump ins, like in this range. Same things with, what is it? Same things with projectiles in this range too. And then this space here isn't used too much, but this is long range, which I usually say besides Min and maybe Samus, most characters will only come to this space to either do like a few things. They'll set up pressure, so they'll like Robin with like Thunder Tomes, Snake with what is it? Snake with, let's say for example, grenades. Joker side B, like he'll maybe jump back, do his side B to make it safer. Because basically, if you think of characters that have laggy options that they have to charge up or that they have to actually pull, like Links with their boomerangs or down B, they will jump back, or if this range is already created, they'll throw it. So that way they can be able to come back in and put pressure on you now that they have boomerang out. So
I guess
go ahead.
how do you even think about characters like that, like like in that way? 'Cause whenever I like use Link or something for fun, or like young Link or a projectile character, I'll still like the way I like playing them is like more aggressively, but I don't really think about it as like going out and like to that range where it's actually smart to use the projectile and then using. I can still play aggressively, but I feel like projectile characters like a more extreme example than like Joker would be in. But they'll like I could play at that range and then use that to play aggressively instead of just like jumping in with like the boomerang or something.
Right.
Which is an option, but I guess I don't know. I don't know why I just didn't even think about that.
It is about to say it comes to different
'Cause
ways
I always think
for
like
many people.
I always think of it as like if I throw the boomerang from here, like I'm just gonna start camping. Like instead of thinking like, oh, I throw the boomerang here and then there's like forcing options and then I can like play aggressively off of that.
Mm-hmm. And you can still do it from that distance. I think it's just probably more like with Samus or with was it Min that it's easier to do that, because if like say you're, because let's say for example, like, you know, if it is a Link, they could throw them, but like it's really not going to do much if you're just going to stay here at camp, because they just shield it and it just comes back and then they just repeat it. Like you can pull bomb and maybe throw it, but that's the risk of just trying to camp this far away, is if you're all the way over here in red and like you're all the way over in the other direction in red. That means you move over there, Marcus. Okay.
My bad.
So if you're all the way over there in red, for example, and you're just shooting gun, it's not going to hit me. You try to do side B, like just stay over there, just side B. It's not going to hit me. So you could use those to pressure, but it's better if you use them in this space to either stay your ground if you think they're not going to move forward, or if you think they're going to move forward, jump back. Or if you're in this range, jump forward with it in order to actually put pressure on if you think I'm not going to move forward. Or it's so good that it can't be stopped when you move forward with it from that range. So now I bring this up.
That's actually, I don't know. I feel like that's actually really good information. I almost never think about it like that. But whenever I feel like whenever I use side B, like I always just think of it as like I'm just like running away instead of like playing at it like at a certain range, like or like how you said, or even with like gun, I always just think like I'm just gonna run back and gun and like annoy them to like do something. But then I always like play at a range where like even if they do something, like I can't even do anything about it anyways.
Right,
That's all like
precisely.
the range that you said.
Right. So I bring up this because normally your interactions with it, I think you already do well, is you get into mid range. Because how you deal with Fox or any character that's like shooting projectiles like that is that you first get. So, like, say you're across stage completely. You just first get into this mid range. So, you get into green space. So, I'm just shooting lasers. You don't jump immediately from like all the way from red. Because say for example you try and just like you start in red and you try to jump all the way over. By that time you jump over, I can just stop laser and react and run away or something, which is what Price
Yeah,
will do.
okay.
So what you want to do is get in the green space and then just provoke me randomly when I decide. Well, at least get in green space to tell me I can't just shoot lasers. Because now that I'm here, if I decide to commit to just shooting lasers, even if I just shoot one, um, see how long it takes for like me to try and shield after. So like I'll shoot you with a laser and maybe you try and dash attack me. So maybe on reaction you try and react to it. You probably can't be able to punish me, but that's a thing that I have to be prepared for. That like say you could run and you could dash attack me, so I have to be prepared in case that happens. Because maybe you decide to commit earlier to doing that because you know I'm just waiting around and I'm just going to shoot lasers. So you're just going to randomly jump
Yeah.
in or dash attack, and then you saw how long it took me to shield because of it. So now I'm in a threat in this range that if I just decide to randomly shoot laser, which I don't even get much out of in this situation, I could get blown up. So that's the biggest way to just deal with lasers or like projectiles is just get into this mid range and threaten how to deal with it. Um, and you already do a good job of it, I feel like, because just going off of the last game, game 3, you never really you got into the range and you either immediately went for your option or you just faked out that you're going to go in and dash attack or back air him or something. So I think you handle it pretty well. Again, it was just a thing where you just probably didn't realize how to handle it. Okay. So now what we're going to do, since you said you want to just have some time to actually play, is we're going to just go ahead and just play on a couple stages here, but we're going to play based off of you wanting to play around this aggressive game plan. So you know how in the past that we talked about like when we're just playing friendlies or something that we should have like a goal or task in mind to try and do that before we even try and think of winning.
Yeah.
So we'll just practice that. So we'll just play a game and all you'll try to do is just choose like one interaction where you run in and you try to do an aerial. Like you'll run in, you try to do neutral air, or you'll try to do fair one, and just see. Okay, I tried to do this. It worked because of this, and if it kept working, just keep doing it. But say that one interaction it didn't work, then try to punish what it is that I did in order to actually get you to get the idea in mind. And then we'll just talk about just whichever one interaction that you want to bring up afterwards.
Alright.
So, let me change rules. Let's see here. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Oh my god, you made that. That's crazy.
I know.
Oh, okay. Good trade, Fox McCloud. Good.
I didn't have a jump.
Oh. Alright, let's review. So, we tried the body Fox McCloud by running in and doing what?
By like running and doing aerials. I thought I kept trying to like punish your nair. It felt like you just like it was like nair, 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 and I kept trying to like jump over or like do anything about it. But then like you would just nair like a different way, and then I would still lose it to it anyway. Like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that simple, but I felt like I was trying to beat you with aerials against aerials. Then you would just like stuff my aerials before like I could even like do that.
Okay. So it sounds
I don't
like.
know. Maybe that was.
Hmm, let's see. So it sounds like you tried stuffing me for like jumping in using air, so you did realize that, so that's good. So you did your own neutral air. I jumped over, and now
Oh, there's
you.
like once I saw you trying to jump over, then I tried to use like up air, but then I kept missing those. You were like either jumping above it or like drifting out of it. I don't know,
Okay, that's all right. So you figuring out that like you have like it. So there's something about like a fox doing their neutral air that like you're having issues with in your game plan. So it's all right
but
that.
I think I just have to like respect it more. Like it's like Fox neutral air is like a good move. Like I don't know, like it's something that can be punished, but it's not. It's not something that like I like need to punish, or it's like something that's like super laggy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe it's something that like it could be something that you just have to respect, but it might be just something that is just better to avoid in general, like you're saying. So maybe you can't just straight up aerial it. So maybe you have to find a way to either mess with it on the ground, or maybe have to find a way to just avoid it in general. Because hitting Fox Dare on shield is never really a good option to go for, or like just letting it hit your shield because of how I will because of how safe it can be when it just hits it and it allows Fox to start pressure. So that's a situation we don't like to happen. But that's good that just playing off of that, we figured out okay, so he jumps in, he does nair a lot, so I need to figure out how to do something with it. Now, you saw when we were doing this, it was kind of hard to do it in the middle of the game, right?
Yeah.
So that's no problem because that happens with everyone. It
I feel
gets.
like ideally, like in that if that situation was in bracket, as soon as I figured out like, oh, I don't know what to do about this, then I would have just started camping until I like either thought of something or I like I would have just started camping just because I like felt like that was like the way I could win. I don't know.
Okay, so that's fair.
It's
That
like
makes
that would be like this aggressive thing isn't working. I'm about to just camp and see. And obviously, like some people are. It's not as simple as that, but in my mind, it's like that's what I would think, or less so now. But definitely before, I would just think like being aggressive is not working. And I would just camp and I'll try to win. But then with the information you told me, there's ways to like play passive, but still like force people into doing stuff. Instead of like the way that I would like camp before, where I would just run across the stage and just start throwing side Bs or using gun.
right. I think I think there's good merit in what you're saying too about like, okay, so this isn't working out. Like my game plan. Because here's the other part of game plans. What happens your game plan if your game plan meshes with someone else's game plan? Do you know, like you both identically Fox and was it? We'll just go into this and we won't play really, like just talking a bit, but you know that both our game plans is really we just want to get an aerial so we can start combos. So it's my nair versus your nair / your fair one. So really, this brings up a different topic about game plans, which is finding out whose game plan you have to play around. So for example, you're finding out, okay, so I feel like maybe if I practice it a bit, like maybe if I do something different, I can maybe get my game plan to work, but him falling and doing these neutral airs are just so strong that I have to respect it. So I'm just going to play around his game plan. So now, this now shifts the focus from another part of game plans, it like even when it's aggressive or defensive, is that when you put your two game plans together and you realize, oh, my game plan's almost the same as his, but because he gets more off of it or his is easier to hit, I should probably focus on denying his game plan. So that's why you said you camping. I think that's a good thing because you're realizing that my game plan's not working out, so I just need to instead force him to come to me instead, like just start camping him out. Which now that brings up another question that I forgot to ask earlier, but I think we kind of answered it. But why do you, if you have these good defensive options, why do you feel like you have to approach him then? Approach a aggressive character.
I don't know. I don't even really have a good answer other than like just I don't want to play like campy. I don't know. I feel like that's not a. I feel like that's almost like not a good answer. But I don't want to be like just running a like. I guess I think of it as like two opposite things. Where like it's either camping or like playing just straight up aggressive.
Okay.
Other than like the middle ground you're talking about. So I don't want to just be like running across and like playing campy per se.
Okay.
But obviously I can like play passive and like choose my openings better. Other than just like being the one that is like forcing the aggressive stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have that as an option there. And it's alright if that's your answer for it. If like, say like it is just like, oh, you don't want to play campy, it's like, that's okay. If that's just how you as a person would prefer to actually play like aggressive against a character like that, you can. Like, I'm not going to tell you that you can't, because it's your game, your gameplay, your playstyle. The only thing though that I just advise about that is that when it gets to a point where like you start improving and then you start getting more concerned about, for example, let's say you get more mad about your wins, or like say like you're playing against an aggressive character and you get mad because you're not beating them, so you start evaluating all these other things and someone brings up, hey, what, it's like, it's kind of weird that you're approaching this aggressive player or character who's more aggressive than you. I don't want you to get into a situation where it's like, okay, well, I do this because this is my play style and I like to play this way against aggressive characters. And that is completely fine. The problem is that if you're finding out that your aggressive playstyle is not getting you wins against aggressive characters, and you get mad that you're not winning against aggressive characters, but you refuse to change to maybe experiment with other playstyles, like playing more defensively or staying in that ground and just keeping, like, just pushing the aggressive characters out. You can't say that you're mad that you keep losing, or like that you want to actually improve or something like that, because you stay in your same play style tells me that you don't want to actually try and be, like, better. But if winning doesn't matter to you, then yeah, go right ahead and just keep doing that the entire time. But it just comes to that point where you just have to be fearful, like, just remember that, basically. That you don't
Yeah, I
want to
just
actually...
think of like Nairo, which I know it's like that's just one example. But I feel like there's certain players that like almost always play aggressive. But I guess I just don't really think about like how they like earn their aggression. Like they're not just running in and doing like the same options. Like, I guess I don't like they like obviously the end product is like they're still able to be aggressive, but I don't really pay attention like how they're like opening their opponents up or like even how they're even able to do that.
Uh-huh.
So I always think like whenever like, I watch like Nairo or like Cola, like even if they're playing against an opponent that's like generally pretty campy, like they're still like it almost feels like they're still playing the same game. Like but I don't really pay attention like the small options that they're doing.
In
Or
order
the
to...
information they're probably gaining, like with the Nair thing, they probably do stuff like that like all the time, where like they just like see how their opponent's gonna react. Instead of doing that, they'll like wait for like the spot dodge or something and just, like time around that or something.
Uh-huh.
Instead of just like going straight for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's room to grow with that game plan with it. And you can keep playing the aggressive play if that's how you want to actually play. That's all I was just bringing up is, again, like, if you get mad later on, like you're playing aggressive, maybe someone's advice, which is actually really good advice, is not be aggressive in a certain matchup, but instead force them to come towards you, like play the way you don't want to play. You can dismiss it if you're like, it is completely fine to do so, because that's your play style, that's how you want to play it. But you also can't get mad when you lose when you're not willing to try this thing that someone's suggesting as well. So all I'm just saying.
Yeah, I completely agree
with that. Which I thought that might be what's part of like your thing with like your goal too, is that you want to play Smash that's more meaningful, like Smash that other people want to actually see. Which is that kind of what you think most people want to see, or that you envision?
Well, I didn't mean like that. I meant like where there's like actual stakes. It's like no one's going to see like a winners round 2 match. Like when I played against like Price for that money match, like people were watching it, so it was like meaningful, even though it wasn't like high level gameplay or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then people actually like wanted to see it. So I mean like that, where like I'm playing Sunny and people are like, oh, he could actually win or something, and people are actually like watching it.
Okay.
Other than like everyone just going and like playing friendlies or something, or people are like actually think I'm doing something that's like sick.
Gotcha.
Or like my gameplay is like worth watching. Like that is meaningful. That's what I meant. Where like it's not just like a throwaway. Like if I play against like someone worse than me, then people don't want to watch. But I play right now I feel like if I play against someone that's worse than me, then people don't want to watch. But if I play against people better than me, then people don't want to watch either, because they don't really have any faith that I'm gonna win, which is fair. But I don't know.
So it's kind of...
That's basically what I meant by it.
So yeah, just basically getting it up to where the caliber of who you play against, like say Sunny, Wes, Sloth, there's possibility that you could actually be able to take it over them, so it would in turn have more people be interested in watching your sets and stuff.
Yeah.
So it basically just comes down to just improvement to that point, for that. So that'll just keep coming as like, you just keep going and you're improving there. But again, like I said,
I almost want it to be in a way where like when Nairo like plays like Nairo will do like character requests or whatever, and they'll like people will be like so excited, like, oh, they're playing my main or whatever. I almost want it to like kind of be like that, where people are like, wow,
Yeah,
he's pretty good. Like, wow, he's playing Pit. Like that's cool or something like that. Like that's like obviously I'm not like streaming or anything, but in that way, like if Sunny just randomly decided to like go Pit like at a tourney, you know how excited CQ9 would be. Like he literally would be like losing his mind. Like,
yeah. So I think,
uh,
so yeah. Again, I think that just comes down to just like being a well-rounded kind
just
of caliber of player, to where like even if you say you picked just any character, like you start playing Ken, like they know you're good with Joker and like you're good with Byleth and Sephiroth, and they say like, oh, he's trying out Ken. It's like I've never seen him play Ken before. I'd like to see how that works, kind of thing like that. Where like you already build up a good reputation for you, so now they're interested in seeing how your other character works out, kind of thing. Um, which I
yeah.
which I can get behind that too with that. Um, but yeah, back to kind of that topic about like finding out whose game plan is kind of like better and such. You moving to like play more defensive against that rushdown like playstyle because they have a better option in the rushdown. I think it's smart because like you decide like, okay, so this isn't working out, so maybe if I try to play a defensive game plan that I'm more familiar with, maybe I might get more mileage, which I think that's perfectly how you find out who plays certain roles. Basically, like you find out, you think it through or you see it happen, and it's like, oh, okay, so up close this character gets more out of it than I do, unless I set up to where I set up the pressure. So in order for me to set up the pressure so that way I can get what I want up close, maybe I need to play from a safer distance and just put them off balance. So that's where playing defensive and shooting gun or walling out with aerials happen. So that way you can be able to maybe put them in a missed tech situation, so you can tech chase with fair one or nair, or put them off stage so you can kill them off of those because you have good aerials and like be able to stay out there with them. Kind of things. But yeah, let's play another match now. So we'll go back into that thing talking about like you realize you have not sure what to do with Nair, so maybe try and figure out what you can do to either stop my Nair before it happens, or maybe you have to respect it, maybe you just have to find a different way around it. So that'll be just the goal, is just find one way to stop me from doing neutral air, and then we just talk about it right afterwards.
Basically, that's the solution I thought of. But I know that isn't exactly what he said, but
No, if it's a solution that works, that's good too. Because basically you just have to find, because it is stopping me before I even get to jump out. Like if you're knowing that I'm going to be out there.
before I was going for Nair, but the problem is you would, like, Nair doesn't cover, the way I was doing Nair, I was like fast falling it, so it doesn't really cover the top of me. Although, I don't know, I feel like it was just kind of beating my Nair, but with back air, it's just a straight up like a disjoint.
Yeah, it's both disjointed and the way you're doing Nairs,
Oh, yeah.
like do Nairs in place for a moment. It's like, see, like you're doing short hop ones. I'm full hopping, so I'm either hitting you before your aerial comes out, or maybe so yeah, I'm either hitting it before it comes out, or I'm landing on top of you, so that makes it harder for you to deal with it, because maybe the hitbox disappeared, or maybe, what is it? Maybe, the hitbox was there, but because I'm landing on top of you, it's trading or beating it out because it's the hitbox itself is a little meatier. So that's why it's good you swap to back airs like at the same time, because you're stopping me before I get right over top of you. And say you whiff it, for example, you can fastball back down and maybe try to avoid it. So
Yeah. Or with this character,
there.
I could even like just back air again, but
Right.
makes it crazy.
Good thing he disappeared. I was dead.
Nah.
See, there you go. See, like doing a full hop one or jumping higher, we'll even be able to trade it out too. Or not trade out, but beat out. Yep. Good. See? There you go. Even before I got the nair out, got your back air out before it. Oh,
Wow.
good town and city. Good stage. Good stage. No, your father did that. My God. No. He's dead. Oh no, he's not dead. Oh. From across stage. Oh no. Good. Well, I think that felt a lot better dealing with Fox Neutral there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I feel like a big problem that set was like I was playing more aggressively than I normally would, but it was kind of like leading to the same result. I wasn't like using the options like gun or like or I feel like there I used gun like a lot better than I did in that set. 'Cause I was like more so like forcing stuff instead of just like trying to like trade with stuff with like aerials. I was like using gun and like getting grabs like condition or the actually like be able to approach aggressively other than just like kind of going in raw or trying to trade of like your aggressive thing or approach. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if that
thought
makes
that.
sense or not, but
No, that makes sense. I like and I think that felt it felt more to me. It feels like that felt like more natural of your play style when you were playing
like
like
it felt
the
like it
gun.
felt like I was playing aggressive, but it wasn't like before I was kind of thinking of it as like I was either 100% playing aggressive or like I was playing campy. Like it was like a switch. There I felt like I was playing aggressive, but I was still using like the other options that I had to make that possible. Like I didn't like use down gun that much, but I was
Uh huh.
using gun to like to make it like make you aware of the options so that I can play more aggressively, other than just like ignoring it and going in.
Yeah, precisely. Like you're giving me a reason why. You give me a reason for like give me your a way in, like using your gun to slow me down because maybe I think you're going to actually start being more patient. And then if you're seeing through gun that, hey, I'm shooting gun and he's either staying away or he's starting to shoot lasers back at me, maybe now's my opportunity when we're in mid range to maybe to do get up closer to actually hit my neutral layer. So maybe if I still want to be defensive, maybe this is my opportunity to get up closer and then start doing back airs. Um, in order
Yeah, I
for
feel like before I would make it too simple, where like either I was like running away and doing stuff, and then people would be like, "Oh, he's running away. Okay, I know what to do." Or I would just go in aggressively, like almost 100% of the time, and then it'd be like, oh, "Okay," then I'd sub this stuff as aggressive approaches. Other than like now, where like I could play like more passively, or I understand I can play like more passively, but I could play at a range where like if someone tries to like react to my like or react to me playing passively because like before I would just like throw outside Bs where it won't even hit them. I like throw it out and like I start conditioning people like the just shield, and instead I could go for like stuff like tomahawk grabs or if they're gonna like dash back, then I could just like go in and like chase him or something.
uh huh.
Where before I wouldn't even like give my option self the option to do that. I was more so just trying to like annoy them,
Mm.
which is like could be useful, but it's not like it's not as much as I'm gonna get out of that other than like a mental thing, I guess. I don't know. Or like depending on who it is, they might get impatient and just start rushing in. So it might not be a terrible strategy, but logistically it'd be better to play at a range where I can actually gain something from what I'm doing.
Yep, and put some pressure on them while you're doing it as well to actually to actually feel like they have to do something. Um, so I think you're starting to get into that idea of it. Um, is that kind of understanding about that aggressive playstyle that really it's really just that simple. It's just like picking that one option and trying to actually mess around with it. Um, Funny enough, what we found out from it is just that, oh, well, okay, so I can play aggressive this way, but maybe I just want to play more defensive. And then find ways to be aggressive, which that's okay. Because that's how we found out that that might be better suited for your playstyle, or that might be suited better for the Fox matchup if we're afraid of like them lasering the whole entire time than like just getting up close and then threatening from a closer distance with some of my options. Like they're lasering from like a certain distance, I might just throw side B like in mid range, just randomly, because they're just staying in place. I feel like they're going to either stay in place and laser or jump like run back laser. So I might just run in and then throw it out and then catch them. Uh, so I think next parts, supposedly we can play a bit more, but I think next parts of like just you developing as a player will probably be just for one thing, getting more comfortable with that mid range. So I can send you that stage. Actually, we can play on that stage just a little bit too, just for like reference for a couple things. But definitely playing more in that mid range, understanding what those ranges do. But biggest thing is realizing because now we have we build you just like a aggressive game plan, which is just run in neutral air, run in forward air, which is what you already do. So the two big things is when you see that it doesn't work, ask yourself, okay, what can I do to beat out what it is that they're doing? And if the thing that they're doing is too strong, should I resort back to my defensive game plan of shooting gun, using back airs, just kind of like forcing them to come towards me and then stuffing their approaches if what they do when I approach them is too strong. Let's see here. Alright, so same plan as above, but this time I might choose a different option for you to try and mess around with besides neutral air. So try and punish that. Okay. He should make it. Yep. I was about to say, let's double me to try that. Ooh.
Dang. I actually got the back row, so that would have been cool.
He should be able to make that. Ah, there we go. Yep, precisely, yep. Oh, no. Oh, quick question. Why weren't you doing that against Price? The runoff down Bs.
Ah.
Because it's so good.
I feel like he side beat most of the time. Or a lot of... Oh, you mean without, like, without Arsene? Or...
With Arsene.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know.
In particular, Game 3, there was a few times where I thought you could do that and just, like, kill him off that. Because I usually think Arsene, like, slightly freezes them. Kind of like Sora's down B. And it always sends the way he's looking, right?
Yeah, it always sends that way.
Okay.
It never sends the other way.
Yeah.
But... Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was so used to him side B'ing that was like the first thing. Because side B is like one of the... Fox side B is like one of the biggest things that annoys me. Because I swear that shit, it doesn't even feel like it's punishable half the time. So I think I was just so worried about that that I just didn't down B. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
There was a lot of there was a few times where I just tried to down air it, which did where I did down air it. I think I down aired it like all 3 games one time. But
Really?
then like I could also just because I with Palu I down aired it. Then with Joker the last game oh no I traded with back air. And then the first game
Uh-huh.
I think I down aired it.
Okay.
So I think that is something I feel like I'm pretty good at. But obviously when I have RSN like I don't really need to do that. Only
Okay.
with like a character with like Sephiroth or Byleth when I need to really focus on that.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, real quick, did you kind of notice the thing that had changed up when you were doing your game plan?
My game plan or the game plan you're going for?
Your game plan, like from just whether it was guns or if you were kind of coming in close, like towards me and trying to do neutral airs. Was there something that had changed up with besides doing neutral airs?
Well, it seemed like more so you were always going for neutral air. You were going for like an empty option, or like you would go for like an empty option and like dash attack, or yeah, that seemed like the main thing. It just seemed like whenever I saw you go for Nair, I was like, I'm not even gonna mess with that. And then when I saw you do something else, and that's when I started like going for stuff, or like started executing my game plan. It's like Nair doesn't even have that much range anyway, so I was like, I don't know. That's the way I was thinking of it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you don't even worry about and think about it. We went from within like just less than an hour from like, oh, I don't know how to actually deal with Nair to now I'm not even going to deal with it. I'm just going to back air it, or if I don't feel like I can back air it, I'm just not going to deal with it. So you made it more simple, all within us just talking, and you just thought of it on your own. There was nothing of me helping out with that. You did
Yeah,
that.
I feel like sometimes I play and it just works out like that. I think it just depends on like the situation. Or in like bracket, uh, I'll play like almost like what I feel like is more safe, and I'll like throw out nairs around me, and that's when I would get like naired more or like good clip more. But then like when I'm like playing confident and like friendlies or something, or I am just playing well, then I'm like just moving around and like just ignoring the move more. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But how I feel like is playing more safe is actually kind of like detrimental in a way.
Hmm. Okay. We can talk about that here in just a moment. I think we'll just end our session off on that. So maybe play like 2 more here, because that's an interesting thing you brought up about that maybe we could talk about real quick. Um, but yeah, what you brought up about me doing dash attacks and stuff was good, because now you're starting to realize from either shooting guns or doing theirs that like there's other things that I can do to try and trick you up, like coming from the ground or coming from the air. So once again, have to figure out how to deal with what you see that happening, how to deal with those different ways of me coming in. And that's just basically it. There's no trick to that. That's just all how adaptation works. Is I rather I do my dare. Oh, okay, he jumped this time. I rather do my dare, or like I rather punish him doing dare, like his jump ins. Oh, he's coming from the ground now, so I'm gonna run in, punish his ground option. Oh, he's back to doing he's back to going into the air. Okay, what did I do last time to punish it?
Uh,
So that's just basically how just adaptation goes. It's a lot easier than most people will either say or give it credit. Oh, thank God. No, thank God. Oh, no.
oh my god.
I gotta go for it. I haven't hit a single up air today. Strong hit, at least. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Okay, good job. Good job, stage. Good. Before you even got the dare out, you were able to just punish it with up air. No. Yep. Yep. Hey, it's that thing that I told you about, that like run in doing F tilt. Looks pretty good to actually punish people running in.
I've been trying to do that with more of every character. I haven't practiced as much as usual this past week, but
That's alright.
I told you when I dash attack that very first stock, that's what I was trying to do. I just messed up and did a dash attack and I died, but
Right. Ooh. No, not today.
I just want you to try to go for up smash, but you did not do it.
No, he's dead.
I thought for sure you were gonna go for up smash, but
No,
I was not planning on dropping this shield.
That's alright, that's good
Then it
though.
just never came. I feel like 99% of Fox players, not that you play Fox, literally 99% of Fox players would have tried the up smash. Not just prize, like literally every single Fox I've ever played in my life would have tried the up smash there. Instead of going for the grab.
I was dead sure just about to do it too. And I'm glad I did it, though at the same time I feel like I could have got more doing shield pressure than going for the grab there. But I mean, at least it's set up for a good situation. It's just our setup B has invincibility, so what can he do about it?
He needs it though, so.
Does he? Alright. Alright, we'll just play one last one. I think that'll be it for the session. Then just talk about that one thing you brought up about like playing in friendlies versus that. Alright, better Fox. Has the same game plan, he's just, how can I say, he's just better. He looks cooler too. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. Oh god. See? Kills below 20%. Oh my god. He actually read the side B.
That Nair is more faster than I give it credit for.
His Nair? It's just like it's just like everyone else's. Fox, Mario's. It's frame 3. That's my hit. Okay, it doesn't. It's alright. No! You're just like Fox in that regard, too. It's sad. Get him into close range. No! There didn't come out. Oh no. Okay, that was bad. Oh, thank God, I didn't go for it. Ah, there we go.
Wow. I feel like there was the same thing where I wasn't using my projectiles approach. I was kind of either camping with them or trying to be aggressive. But it felt strange because I wasn't familiar with like the ranges of some of this stuff. So I was trying to play at like a safe distance with like gun where I could like punish stuff. But then I was like, it just felt like. I feel like when I play me brawler, it feels like the character is so slow. But it felt like you were like, I would try to like use a gun at a safe distance, and you would already be in there like with nair or like dash attack.
I think it might be just the pressure kind of thing. We'll play one more actually, since because I think it might be just like.
And I did die 0 too, but
That's true. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and play another, and then we'll talk about it. But it might just be just like a pressure thing, like when you're actually. That'll actually bring up what we're going to talk about maybe later then. So I'll save that for later. Might not. No, he's too heavy. No! Give me that game. And now I'm about to die from that. Thank God, Platts. I should thank you, Marcus, since we swapped to this stage.
Ow.
No. Ooh. No. Thought the shield was coming out. Okay, we gotta get rid of him. Too late. Oh no. thank God. Good armor. Oh my god. Oh my god, he made it back. Just live it. Alright, here we go. Good stall. Oh, he waited too. Thank God. Marcus, Joker has to die, please. Yep. Oh. I saw your future, Marcus. And he sees mine. Oh no. No, please. We saw the roll. That should be it, because I dare dodge. Yep. He wasn't going to make it back. Well, maybe he would have made it. Yeah, he would have made it back from there. Alright, good games. So let's talk about that one thing and then call it quits real quick. So, you brought up an interesting thing about playing differently when you're in friendlies or when you are in tournament. Because you feel like when it's friendlies, you don't really have a care attitude about what's going on. But in friendlies, I mean, when you're playing tournament, you feel like you're a lot more nervous and you play a lot more safe.
I don't even know if it's like that exactly. I just feel like when I play friendlies with people, it feels like I can just like move around, or it depends. Like when I'm tilted, that just feels like crap overall. But it feels like there's a potential where I can like move around and like have more fun. But in bracket, it kind of feels like everyone's like kind of like turtling up a lot more, which makes sense. People like actually when like there's actually something on the line. But it feels like I can't like play like the way I would like want to. Like it feels like almost like the way I was like playing like brainlessly aggressive before, with like working friendlies, because people would like wouldn't try to like camp necessarily. That would camp in bracket. Like but then in the bracket, then they just start camping, and then it's like, wow, this, like maybe I'm just playing nervous or something. But I think there's been like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't playing nervous that was making me worse. Because there's a lot of times where I think, did I? Yeah, because that's why I swapped off Joker, like against Price. But I had also swapped it off against Joker against a Mario at Rivals the other time. Because I barely went up Joker, and I was like, I just tried out Palu because I thought the game plan was just more simple to execute. But then I ended up, it was the same exact thing where I lost with Palu, and then I swapped the Joker and won. It's literally the same exact thing. It's now that I think about it.
Okay.
It's like a mirror. But yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily down to me being nervous or like people like just playing more pace or just playing more patient in general since there's actual stakes. And then like that's where like using gun and like side B and stuff like that and actually opening people up would be good at a range where I can actually like capitalize on it.
So, question I have for you is, who do you think is your actual self? If you had to choose between Friendly's Marcus and was it Friendly's Marcus and Tournament Marcus, who do you think is your actual self when you're playing Smash?
I think friendlies.
You think so?
I feel like in friendlies, like I could like, well, unless it's like Simon, he's gonna fuck me either way. But I feel like when I play against like Jamo in friendlies, like no offense to him, but I can like pick like almost just like I could pick like any of my pocket characters and like kind of play the way that I want to, not because it's like him necessarily. But then I win, I lost to him in bracket, so it just feels like it's like completely polar opposites. And now like I know the Snake matchup more, so I feel like I can definitely be more confident in that. But I feel like that's a big example against like just in general. I don't know. Even against like Price, like I barely won that set
Uh huh.
of Joker. But then when we were playing friendlies the other day, I was going like 10 different characters, and I just feel like I was moving more comfortably, and I was playing the way that I wanted to.
Okay.
Which I was trying to play out the way I wanted to that set, but then like I was kind of getting like blown up for it and frustrated. So then I would like I didn't really resort to camping, but then I don't know. It doesn't feel fun like the way I would want to. I don't know.
Okay. Mm, so you say that you, in friendlies you think it's just more you. I happen to actually think the opposite. That how you play in tournament is your actual, on ab, on average in tournament is your actual skill level, or like your actual true version of you. And you want to know why?
Why is that?
You, as a human being, you never know how much of a person that you are until you're put into stressful situations. So those friendlies that you're playing against, Price or someone else, for example, where like you're just freely just choosing characters, you're just doing what you're wanting. The reason you feel like that's your actual you is because you feel like you're doing better, but that's because there's no pressure on the line. You're just doing things, you're just throwing things out, which I'm happy that's the way that you feel in friendlies instead of treating it as tournament, because that means you have the opportunity to actually just mess around with things like just doing tasks and just figuring out, oh, okay, like with your game plan, you can figure out how to do your game plan a certain way when you do that. Um, Whereas in tournament, there could be a ton of things that could be going on that could be that is in your control, but or is maybe not out of your control. Like you choosing a different character, but like you play Joker, for example, like in friendlies or something against Price, you probably just zero the death from all the time. But then you play him in tournament. Um, Now there's this stress that, oh, okay, this is tournament. We're choosing stages. We're doing things like that. We don't normally do this in friendlies, so I don't feel as comfortable. So now we have all this other stuff that we're doing. Um, so it's a more stressful environment. So it's actually making you more needing to do things, like needing to actually focus more and actually be more stressed out because of it.
Yeah.
So probably in right now, I think you handle it all right, because like your thing with it is, like you said before, one way that you can handle like a stressful thing or just make it as simple as possible, because that's what we're doing with game plans, is, oh, I don't feel like I'm doing too well with my Joker right now. So instead of forcing it and getting frustrated mid-set, you're not dealing with that. You're just going to go ahead and swap to Palu like you tried. It's like, okay, this is more simple. It's not as stressful on me in this already stressful situation to try Joker things. So I'm just going to do Palu things now that I found out that back air is invincible and there's nothing that they can actually do about me throwing it out.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of like behind playing Sephiroth too, or like when I swapped with Sephiroth against Jamo, I was thinking like I don't know what to do with Joker, but then with Sephiroth, I felt like I could just like kind of like back air and do stuff, and then obviously against Snake it didn't work out like that. But in my mind, that's what I was thinking. Where like
Yeah.
I didn't have to like I respect his game plan as much with Sephiroth, because then I could just like space him out. Then like Snake is a zoner, but that's the concept that was in my mind,
Yeah,
and
precisely.
that would apply to some matchups like against Mario.
Right.
Like
Exactly how
if
you're thinking about
I
it there. Exactly how you're thinking about it there is that you're doing you swapped the Seth against Jabo because you wasn't feeling Joker things. Um what is it? Once he swapped to Snake, so you thought, okay, well, I don't know how to deal with this matchup right now. I don't want to be stressed and try to figure it out midway through, so I think I will do a better job if I just swap the Sephiroth.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Cause I know people are like Joker wins the matchup or whatever, but I knew after that first game like there was no way I was gonna figure that out. So I had to like I felt like with Sephiroth I could still win and not really know how to deal with the matchup.
Yeah, you felt like it would be a simpler time in the situation because then you
And
could.
that's also low key why I went Sephiroth against like Lucario that I was talking about that one time. That whenever I play Lucario, I just think like, oh my god, this character is like I know he's not a good character, but it's like once he has aura, then I have to like figure out how to approach him and not get like killed at like these absurd percents or whatever. So I figured of like Sephiroth, I could just like I just basically like face him out with back air or whatever. Like what is he gonna do? Like he can't do that aura grab or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then it worked out, and then I like once I got a hold of his habits, I probably could have swapped the Joker and won pretty easily, but. I feel like it was easier to like not even have to worry about his game plan with Sephiroth. Like,
Mm-hmm. It was just a lot easier just sticking, yeah, just sticking with Sephiroth instead of like sticking with Joker. Um, so that's a good way of dealing about that, like in tournament. So base, so that yeah, like I said, that's a good way of actually dealing with that. Something that you can actually control to make yourself feel more comfortable in that stressful situation. Um, but you know what else will also help you get more comfortable in those situations is playing more in stressful situations. So do you know what that means?
yeah, and why it could be money matches or like just playing in bracket more.
Yep. And sometimes money matches don't work. Sometimes,
Well, I think that's
depending
like
on.
that's one of the things like that's why one of the reasons I like started playing Anthers too, which I haven't played them recently. But now that I've come back, I feel like playing Anthers had helped me a lot, and I haven't been able to like apply like a lot of that. But like, cause there was like a good month where I was playing Anthers like every single day. But I feel like that's really helped me to like the point where I am right now. Now I have to actually apply it. But then that's also online, so that's different than in person. But
That's all right.
it's still like the pressure of like playing in a set.
Yeah, it's just, that's all it's just doing is just getting you like into that feel of like that set like pressure of, oh, I only have this certain amount of time to choose stages. Oh, they banned these stages. What am I going to do? They play this character. How am I going to deal with this character? Should I stay Joker? Should I go Sephiroth? There's a ton of things that go on with tournament sets. So as long as you
Yeah,
can make
there
it.
was like that Ike I played against yesterday that I posted about. I felt like that was like a really good set for me. Cause like the first two games, well, I lost the first set to him because I just hadn't played, so I just SD'd a few times. But we rematched, and I went Sephiroth the first game, and I lost, and I swapped back to Joker.
Uh huh.
But basically, like all he was doing is like the typical Ike thing where he would just like jump in there. But I like the first three games I could like not figure out what to do, and I was getting so pissed. I was like, cause his nair is just like so big, like. But I realized like how slow it was. I just started going for like up airs, to, like intercept it,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's when he just like rage quit. I don't know, but
Yeah, you
like
figured
instead
it.
of like,
You
cause
figured
before
it
like
out.
even with Sephiroth back here, I would try to like face it and like go around it, but it just wasn't working out. So I figured out if I just like preemptively like tried the up air, or even like below the way he was facing the nair, like if I just like went below, I wasn't gonna get hit by it. But yeah, from that little adaptation, he already he left and called me a masher. But even though he was the one mashing, but I just felt like it was a good adaptation, like to figure it out. Cause I'd always like kind of like lost the Ike, other than like just being able to edge guard him, I guess.
Yeah.
But now that makes a lot more sense. Or I haven't played against Ike since, but it feels like if I played against Ike again, then I'd understand. And same thing against I played a set whenever me and Jamo are about to get off from practicing. We always like play a set. That's like the first time I felt like the Joker or like the Joker Snake matchup like made like sense. I had watched like a bunch of film and such, but I lost like the first 2 games. I was like, damn, I really don't know what to do. And then the third game, it just like I barely won, and then it just kind of like clicked to me. Like to use guns like aggressively, kind of like what you were talking about with this, where like they use my projectiles like aggressively. I don't know how to explain it. Like with Arsene, like when I played him the first time, or when I was playing him in general, I know gun does well, like Arsene gun does well.
Mm-hmm.
I would play it at like a range where it wouldn't really matter. I couldn't get anything. So instead, I was using like guns like aggressively, because I feel like using guns with Arsene aggressively is really good. Then I can get Arsene pretty free with grenades if he's not careful. Then I would push my advantage a lot more. I just felt more comfortable. I was like, even like the frames it takes to like drop a C4 or like try to like air dodge or something, I could like back care of that. Or I don't know. I just felt like through the process of playing a set, like it helped a lot more. Maybe I should have played a set against Kegure because his PT was really annoying the fuck out of me. But I don't know.
Hey, it's fair. It's fair. It sounds like you had a good time playing against Jamel there, and it helped figure some things out. Same thing with the Ike there.
Yeah, this was a few weeks ago at this point. But
you
once
see
it
much
clicked
it
and
actually was the same for you. You see how much that was actually that it also applied here today.
Yeah, with Snake it was like I feel like Joker Snake almost seems like kind of like a very unique matchup in a sort where like or the gameplay is like pretty unique. But I hadn't even thought of like how to like, use that type of stuff against other characters. I was just thinking like it's against Snake. That's how I'm gonna play it. But,
okay.
yeah, when I actually like felt like I actually like won a game, cause I like in friendlies like you take games off people, but like stuff happens like. So it doesn't like really matter. But when I felt like I had actually like understood it was like a eureka moment, for lack of better words.
Oh, the little light bulb came on.
Like the little light bulb came on. Like damn, it was Smashville, so it wasn't a good stage for him. But still.
Hey, whenever the eureka moment comes, that's when Spell said that's all good there.
And since then, I've done a lot better against like Snake. Like even playing against, I've been playing like a lot of Marth. Even though I swear Marth is even that bad. I just want to say that. But
I don't think
I
so
feel like
either.
it's made a lot more sense. Obviously, I don't have like Arsene like approach with gun, but it just made me more comfortable like approaching in general and like baiting out his options or like when he's gonna do a grenade pull, I can, or when it's, especially the disadvantage was like the big thing. Before I was always like scared of like C4 coming down or like I don't know, but I just feel like once that clicked, then something else just clicked, and I feel like I can play the matchup a lot better with like any character.
Let's see.
But then I haven't played the matchup since then. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think we kind of
Oh,
accomplished everything that we wanted to kind of do today for the session, talking about like basically the interactions with like Fox Laser and Gun, but that turned into like understanding more about like getting into a comfortable range where you can threaten if he does something, and just in general for any character, and then also figuring out like with your game plan with aggression, it's just as simple as moving forward and then doing something and then seeing if it works or doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, what do you need to change when you move forward, or if you even need to move forward at all to even be able to deal with it. So I think your biggest focus right now is it's just going to go back into if you do play developing this aggressive playstyle, just looking at these certain, I'll send you the sheet that I sent to Jamo, but like looking at certain options and what would be your answer to them? Like if you run and you do neutral air and they spot dodge, what would be your answer to them doing spot dodge whenever you try to do that? Come up with 1 to 2 specific answers for each of those situations, and then just keep cycling them through like in training mode. And then by that point, it'll just become second nature to you, and you won't even think about the punish. You'll just think, oh, I saw them spot dodge. So what have I always trained? What have I always trained to do this? You don't even have to say that. You'll just say like, oh, they spot dodge. Do option. So that's probably your next step. I think like with your aggression, playing an aggressive play style is just doing something like that. All right, but I think that's it basically. You've got any other questions about anything in general, or?
Not really. That makes me want to watch the game set myself and understand that more, because like against Price, like he's trying to play aggressive, but then like we're just kind of like, I feel like we're just kind of like moving around each other. But with Dame, I feel like he's just like straight up camping, or sometimes I feel like he's straight up camping. I don't know.
There you go.
I just wanna rewatch it and like look at those things.
Yeah. So you
The-
can look at it from that frame too. Like you want to approach him, but he's doing something. He's camping in a certain way that stops you from approaching. So find out what it is that's doing that. But yeah, that'll be something that maybe you can look at on your own and experiment with. But till then, I think we're about set here. So yeah, I'm about to get ready to head off because I gotta take care of some things in the morning. But I think it was a good session, all overall.
You have so many notifications, but yeah, I think there's a lot to work with. Or I think even just straight off the bat, there's a lot, because I feel like I can like like when I'm playing like more confident, I can like settle into doing those things, but I don't really like understand like why I'm being successful. And then in bracket, I would flip between the two.
Oh, hold on,
And
I'll
now
be right
having to
back,
like,
Marcus.
okay.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
You were saying something at the end there about I can't remember what it was that you were saying, but something, either something with Dame or something else, or
I don't even remember this. I think what was it? Yeah, I don't remember what it was exactly. I think whenever I learn something, I always think of like how to apply to like every character in general. I feel like this stuff applies to like every character. I mean, not every character can be so aggressive in like approach of like, projectiles, or obviously not every character has like the hit of like that, but like just like using like safe moves like get information like with like Martha or Lucina like rolling out with Fair and seeing how people are gonna react, or like even like the way that I use Fair. Like if someone like sees me moving forward with Fair, someone might react differently, and then I can gain information from that
Uh huh.
and like go for like a grab or like or a side B. With specific characters, I feel like it's better to deal with certain habits. Like with spot dodging, I feel like it's a lot easier to deal with like Marth or even Palu. Because Palu up tilt covers dodging,
Mhm.
so that makes it pretty comfortable. Then with Joker, I feel like it's obnoxious, or I just kind of respect it a lot more. But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, doke. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end off the session here. Get any last questions before I head off, or
No, not anything I can think of.
okay? Well, talked over some good stuff, so I will go ahead, head off, and leave you to it. You have yourself a good night.
Yep, you too.
Later.
Yeah, later.